I cut myself. Ow. Cut myself. You ever cut yourself and you know how you did it? Yeah. Anyways. What is going on, everyone? And welcome to Kart 6T3, brought to you by TrackTac Tire Treatments. Treatments for tires and tracks. Ooh, saucy. I don't know if I'll stay with that one. My name is Ben. Welcome everyone to the channel. If you didn't mind, real quick, hitting a like on this here video, possibly subscribing to the channel, that would be fantastic. Okay, back to basics. I kind of got away from this. It's not intentionally. There are so many subjects in my phone. People have suggested, asked about this and that. I kind of go off on tangents, and then of course we have the tire factor. Those videos do exceptionally well, so I do want to keep those in the regular because they do good for the channel and people want to know about tires and stuff. But we need to get back to basics occasionally. Today's video is just that. This is honestly something I just learned recently myself. I know this, Ben, you've been racing for 20 whatever years. You know, how can this be the first time you've done it? Well, it's the first year I've had a clone. So it's the first year I've installed a clutch on a clone and tensioned the chain. So I thought after doing it a couple times, seeing what I like to do, I thought it's a real simple video. There's no bells and whistles about it. I got some footage of what to do. We are going to drop down right now. Hopefully my editing skills are still with it. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do to install a clutch on a clone. Okay, to start, now I've had this engine mount, or this engine undone already. I took the clutch off because I was washing the cart and everything, but I just give you a brief representation here because this back butterfly is on. I didn't put the front one on. So you're just gonna go ahead, your 1/4 inch hex key, it happens to be on a ratchet here. We're gonna go ahead and loosen and take off both butterflies. I'm only taking off one because there only happens to be one here. And sometimes it's easier just to have these things by hand. Okay. Bottom butterfly is taken off. Yes, this is wide rail. This is a Recon, but this is wide rail butterfly. Okay, next what you are going to do is you are going to tip your engine to its side. Now, mine rests against the bodywork. Just be aware of that. Notice that I didn't clean this worth anything, so we're going to clean this real quick. Shop solve. Make her nice and pretty. Nice and shiny. Make sure your crankshaft is nice and clean. Any marks or anything like that. Okay, here is one of the most important parts. When you're putting your clutch on, of course, your clutch will go on the crankshaft, but then you want to rotate it around, line up your keyway. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Your keyway hole. You want a key that fits just inside the hole. You do not want this wallering back and forth. You want it as tight as possible without getting stuck, mind you. You don't want to get your clutch stuck on your engine, but you're gonna want to make these tolerances just so tight that there's barely any shuck whatsoever. That's probably, maybe a little more than there should be, but I've ran this twice already. Seems to come off. Doesn't seem to be damaging the keyway at all. So just make sure that your keyway or your key actually fits in the keyway fairly snug. All right, now I'm not sure if there's a torque rating or anything like that. I've never actually run one. You can use a ratchet and everything. I have 1/2 inch. I have an impact. I hold the clutch. There we go. Nice and tight. It's on there. With a wrench, you can use that, but you're going to have to hold on the clutch, make sure it's snug on there. You want it, obviously don't bear down on it. This is a 20-volt impact, so I didn't go crazy putting it on. A couple blabs. There is a lock washer on here. It shouldn't come flying off, but there is the installation of your clutch on a clone motor. Okay, as for the chain, chain has been cleaned and everything. I have found that it gets stuck in between the crankcase and the clutch. So you're going to have to be aware, or the guard, I'm sorry. So there's a bolt in here that is a little bit of a bear to get around. You turn it just slightly sideways sometimes. If you turn it just slightly sideways, it will slip by the guard a little easier, and then draw the motor back and get your chain around your rear gear. And now we're going to tension the chain. We are going to reinstall the bottom butterflies to the engine mount. I like to reach up in and at least get him started to start with. That's brilliant wordsmanship. Get them going pretty good. Okay. And then you can use, you know, your keyway. I like to run these up with power. Not too tight though, because you're going to want to move your motor mount back and forth to get your tension correct. Okay. All right, from my experience so far, I have found that you run the chain a little looser than I would, say, on a two-stroke. Because we have so much power, that's not a real big deal. You don't want a bunch of chain bind on a two-stroke, especially the big engines. But also, it's not that big of a deal if you run it slightly tighter. But you're definitely going to want to pay attention to how much deflection. This is deflection. The up and down. Now, normally I say 1/2 inch. That's probably 3/4 of an inch, give or take. But it does rotate nice and free. I do have an 11 tooth on there, so there's no actual bearing on the clutch. So we're going to go ahead and tighten it up real quick here. And for tension, I like to go from the either start with the rear or the front, whichever way makes you more comfortable. Keep in mind, if you tighten this down first, it's going to add a bit of slack to the chain. My chain is actually a little loose for my liking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the front one first. That's going to add some tension to the front of to the chain. And then I'm going to come back here. And I just find that whatever one you go for is what you want to achieve. It may be splitting hairs. It may be in my mind, but I have a tendency to do that. If I've set the motor mount where I think it's good and I need a little bit more tension, I will tighten the front one first and then the rear one. And it seems to take a little bit of that tension out. But we're going to snug these up. And we'll go back up top and we'll check our chain tension. Okay, here is our chain tension. We're just going to give a nice roll around here. That's just about perfect. Like I said, you don't want this banjo tight because you're robbing horsepower. You're also causing unnecessary wear on the bearings, or on the teeth. I'm sorry, on your rear sprocket here. And you want, especially with a clone engine, you only have so much horsepower, so you don't want to be robbing any of that horsepower from the rear axle. Just gonna add some lubrication to it. WD-40, little tri-flow, whatever you got handy. Lubrication is good. Keep everything moving very nice. Water bottle. Hey, Bucked Up. Are we sponsored by Bucked Up now? That'd be awesome. Okay, there you go. That is how I install a clutch on a clone. Now, I say that very specifically, that I chose those words in that precise order. That is the way I install a clutch on my clone. Now, the basics are there. This is, for the people that don't know how to do it. If you're watching this video, if you have something better to add, please do so in the comments. And those of you who are brand new to this, who are just learning for the first time how to install a clutch on a clone, what you're looking for and all that stuff, please read down in the comments. I can't thank my subscribers enough for the information that they give. I absolutely love when the comments, one might think that when I wake up on Sunday morning a little late, whatever, because I try and sleep in on Sundays, my video's already launched at 7 a.m. Let's say I get up at 8. I already have some comments. You would think, oh man, I got to answer all these guys. No, I look forward to it because, like you, I love absorbing information. I like to learn more about things. So my subscribers giving more information on something I may not know a ton about, or if they have a different perspective of how to do things, why to do things, all that stuff, I encourage it. This is a channel for learning. This isn't a channel for, boastful, Ben, just hey, listen to me and do what I say. I'm not that type of dude anyway. I just merely make suggestions. I will show you what I believe to be correct or things like that, and then you can kind of learn as you go as well. Just that we'll handle the basics here. We'll handle, my opinions on why you should do something, this and that, and then anybody else who has an opinion on it that has a better way of doing it, a thought process. Hey, you might want to try this. You might want to try that. Try and do this. I encourage it. Please do. Because that could end up in a further video that might help someone down the line if they don't catch it in the comments here. So there you go, guys. I really, like I said, a nice quick video, nothing crazy, but we do have to occasionally get back to basics here. Know that this channel was initially built for those getting into the sport. Yes, I have the UAS stuff. Yes, the tire stuff, and this is all relevant information for a lot of people, but we have to, like I said, I've said a billion times, if we don't have the new crop of racers coming in, we don't have anything, and these basic things may help the next person coming up get faster, get up to speed sooner, and encourage other people to race a little bit more. So that the entire purpose of this channel right there, just basics, and then we'll dive into all the other stuff along the way here, as you know. So thank you very much for stopping by. Remember that Kart 6T3 is brought to you by Track Tack Tire Treatments. Treatments for tires and tracks. I do kind of like that. That's kind of fun to say. Just because they have one product that I know of is for tracks. But anyway, let's not go off a tangent there. I really do appreciate every single one of you coming by, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.